Welcome to today's Deep Sense Discovery session. And what we're talking about is essentially natural language processing, NLP. It's machine learning, and we're looking at Twitter data. So this one specifically is talking about the data on Twitter. And today with Pallavi, who's our PhD student who's crossed many different areas and done incredible research on everything from COVID to ocean that we're looking at, and lots of other work during her undergraduate master's degree. We're going to talk specifically about Twitter data. And the thing that's interesting about this is it's one form of social media data that can be analyzed as text. And the reason why we're talking about it and why it's so important to us at Deep Sense is because we have a session coming up. And this is our Ocean of Data Challenge. We have tackled lots of things from climate and coastal communities to understanding satellite images and underwater images and other types of data. But today, we're going to be talking about something that feeds into ocean text, exploring ocean and the climate and climate change. So if you haven't already, please be sure to sign up with either the QR code that I've cut off or with the bit.ly below. And join us on Monday night and put your contributions towards trying to better understand and explore some problems associated with data that talks about climate and ocean. And with that, I am going to hand it on over, and we're going to learn a little about text and Twitter. And for those of you who are joining online, please feel free to throw your questions in chat, and we'll go from there. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jen. Yeah, hi, my name is Pallavi. I am a PhD student and part-time faculty here in Dalhousie University. I would like to share my screen. So, Jen, I get that host disable participant screen sharing. Can you please enable screen sharing so that I can share my screen and start workshop?
Sorry about that, damn settings.
Yeah, I can do that now. Yeah, thank you. So I hope everybody can see my screen now. So today we will start NLP workshop. So my research area is social media analysis and natural language processing. And my research focus is to implement advanced digital technologies such as machine learning and NLP in social science research. So before starting our NLP workshop, I would like to show the environment where I am going to perform Python programming. So this is Anaconda Navigator. When you install Anaconda Navigator, you get to see this small icon, circle icon here like this. So if you click on that, you will, the homepage looks like this, which has a list of data mining frameworks. So I prefer Anaconda Navigator because it has a bunch of data mining framework, which can be used by using Python programming or R programming. When you click on Jupyter Lab, so this is the screen where we are going to work today's session. So this is what you get. The empty notebook looks like this. So this is the notebook. We click on Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook, we get to see this particular page, and we write code in each lines and execute every line of code separately. So this is about Anaconda Navigator environment. So we will start a NLP workshop. So in this workshop, we will perform two basic major objectives. The first objective is to scrape tweets from Twitter, where we use Twitter APIs to access Twitter data using Python programming. We download Twitter data and perform basic Twitter analytics. In the second half of the session, we will conduct basic natural language processing techniques where we will clean the data, eliminate stop words, perform tokenizations, and visualize frequency distribution analysis. So for the first objective, scraping tweets from the Twitter data, we need to have a Twitter account. We need to set up a Twitter account using developer access and then create an application that can generate your API keys. So the API keys looks like this. So these are the 4 API keys we need before we start the programming and scrape the data. Consumer key, consumer secret, access token secret. So these are the 4 keys you require before you start writing your Python program to access tweets from Twitter. So let's start Python programming with importing the important packages required for the programming. The first package we are importing is Twippy. So Twippy is a Python package which is used to access Twitter API. So we use Twippy only when we want to access Twitter API. So I have imported Twippy, and I also imported pandas, and I said as PD because whenever I want to use pandas, I can just specify PD instead of pandas. So pandas is used to provide your data set and manipulate your data set and provide in more efficient way. Generally, the tweets are in unstructured format. So to show and keep everything in a proper table format, we use pandas. So I will run this particular line. To run this particular line, we have to click on Shift and Return, or you can directly click here on the Run button on the top. So it says idle, so it's run. So whenever we don't have the package in our here, so we need to install it by using pip install Twippy. So if you don't have package in your Python, you just click on write pip install Twippy, and you will get a message. So it says busy, we'll wait, something is happening here. So we'll wait what happens if we click on pip install Twippy. It's taking some time. So I already have Twippy, so I should get the requirement satisfied. If you don't have Twippy, your Twippy package will be installed at this point of. Okay, so it's already there in my system. So it says requirement already satisfied. So if you don't have pandas, you can just write a pandas instead of Twippy here, just like this. So whenever, sorry. So this is how you write. You just want, if you want to install any package in your system, you just write the package name, and in front you write pip install. So I have my 4 keys. So I should specify my 4 keys here. So as I am giving workshop, I don't want to show my API credentials and my keys to you. So what I did, I created a file called Twitter Access Credentials, and I have 4 lines of code in this, which has a consumer key, consumer secret, access key, and access secret. So I imported that particular file, and I'm getting my keys here. So when you want to write your code, you can directly specify your consumer keys, consumer secret, access token, and access token secret directly here. Okay, so I will get my keys here. I have just run that particular line of code. Yeah, it runs. So after getting your keys, specifying your keys, you have to write 3 lines of code. To get access for Twitter, you just need to write only 3 lines of code using Twippy. So as I told, Twippy is used to get access for Twitter API. So for authorizations, Twippy uses auth handler, where it will give authorization based on our consumer key and consumer secret, which we specified here. And after we get authorization, we get access through our access token and access token secret, which we have already here, and we get connected to the API. So this is the 3 lines of code, and I just run it. If I don't get any error, it says that I am connected to Twitter API. So to get access with the Twitter API, we have like 3 steps. We need to import Twippy, we have to specify our keys, and we have to write these 3 lines of code for authorization and access for API. So now my API has this access, so I can use this API variable whenever I want to extract or scrape tweets from Twitter. So in Twitter, you have 2 kinds of data. You have @ data and hashtag data. @ is nothing but our account. So my Twitter account is @ Pallavi 2. So to get extracted from a particular tweet, we have different code, and to extract data for a particular keyword, we have a different code. So first we will see how can we extract specific Twitter account. Okay, so tweets, we have like API has that API access. So user timeline, we are asking API to connect with the user timeline whose account name is @techns. So I just want to scrape @oceantechns. So this is my username, account name, which I'm going to scrap now. So I just wanted to show one particular tweet, and I want to show you print here so that how it looks when we scrape the data. So I have tweets here. I'm now accessing at the rate ocean thickness, and I want only one tweet, which is the latest tweet. So this is the latest tweet. So you can see that one particular tweet, we got this much of data. So this gives the tweet created at this particular time. And I think I've already opened for you to show how it's, so this, you can see that. So this is the latest data in Twitter here. And here, see, you can see that particular data here. So one particular tweet has so much of data. When you see this in an Excel file, you can see like this. So it is an organized now, but when you extract here from the Twitter directly, you get a lot of, you don't have it in proper format. We have to make it in a proper format. You don't understand anything. So I have tried to show you in Excel file what are the information you get when you extract it. You get an ID, you get tweet ID. So every tweet have a specific ID provided by Twitter. You get the link for that, and you get the link of the Twitter. So who has posted that, the author, you get the tweet here, the title, the description, published date, when this particular tweet has been published, source from where it has been tweeted, whether it was from iPhone or Android or it's a laptop. So those details are specified here. The favorite counts, so retweet count, language, so which language they have used, tweet type, is it a retweet or reply or original tweet? So you have like everything. So you have like lots of data. You also have a location. I just want to show you.
Can I jump in? There's two things. Someone was curious. So in terms of your keys right now, so you went and you showed the hidden way that you have your keys currently hidden. We've been chatting back and forth about whether or not API freeze and extractions are going to be free. So can you, we had a question about whether or not API keys are free. Can you touch on that?
Yeah, so Twitter has announced on Twitter developer account that they are going to freeze APIs from today, but I'm not sure that APIs are still working. So they said that they're going to make it paid. So don't know, but still in the morning, I've just tried and it's working. So we don't know, we don't have much information. So everybody is waiting for their latest news, but at this point, the APIs are still working.
And I think there's one thing what's really clear is Elon is very good at threatening something and then pulling back. So right now it might be an idle threat. And I think for those of you who are interested in looking at this, one, maybe the cost is nominal. It's like maybe it's going to be a couple of dollars to extract something. We don't know.
Yeah.
The second thing is Pallavi's been really great about pulling a bunch of data. So for those of you who are interested in doing the rest of the workshop that she's looking at and trying yourself later on with this notebook, we'll have data that you can use that you don't have to worry about you yourself going and worry about the API and downloading yourself.
Yeah, so we also provide the data, and also Kaggle. There are a lot of websites which already downloaded the tweets data, so you can search for ocean related data and you can play around it as well. So that's the data. When you extract, you get that kind of data. So I don't print it because we don't want to show a large amount of data. Let's now extract some 100. Okay, 100, this is the count. So you can extract 1,000. So I think the maximum you can extract is 5,000. So I've just extracted 100 here. So I'm keeping all the 100 tweets here in my tweets here. So as we see that there is a lot of data, but I just want only few data. ID, if I want only few data, ID, tweet ID, text, created it, source, favorite count, retweet count. So I just want to take only few elements of the data. If you want more data, you can go to your tweets file and you can see the column name and you can just put your column name and you get this particular line in your code. So I'm using NumPy here. NumPy is used to put the data in an array, and data frame here is used to create a temporary database, a table-like format, because we have seen it's very unstructured. To make it more sense, I am just putting everything in a data frame, which we will see now. So this is a data frame where I've just taken the data and kept in an array and providing in a database format. In the last line of code, you can see the DF to CSV. So what I have done, I have kept all my data, these 5 lines of data, so 5 columns of data in a data frame called DF. And I am saving it into a CSV file. So if I see it, I should have this particular file saved in my folder. So I see this a minute ago. So this is the file name. So we have got saved this file. So this has somebody raised hand. Anybody have any question?
There was a question about the data. Someone says, what if there is a null value in some of the cells?
So no value. So you just so you have a tweet. So everything else is auto generated by Twitter. So if a person tweets, that's the only data he provides. So all the data which you get is automatically analyzed by Twitter. So you can see likes and retweets. If there is no tweet, you don't get in your data, right? So you have a tweet, every tweet is connected with all the other data. You will definitely post it from a source. You definitely have data, you definitely have the length of the tweet. So if you don't have likes and retweets, you just get zeros. The user just gives a tweets, or he just tweets in the Twitter. That's the data. If you don't tweet, you don't have data. If you tweet it, you will get all the data along with it, because the Twitter analyzes and gives us a lot of data when we extract from API. So we have got tweets, we have like 100 tweets, we have taken 100 tweets. So if you want to do some stats and you want to see some statistics of our data, you can see the maximum. The first one is printing the mean, which gives us the length overall tweets. So the average length of all the tweets. The second one is likes. So what is the maximum likes the Ocean Takenes got is the 19 likes for a particular tweet, and retweet, they got 10,000, around 10,000 retweets per particular tweet. So these are the stats of the tweet. So we have extracted tweets for Ocean Takenes. So if we want to do some analytics, if we want to do the performance, we can also do some analytics. So this is very important, especially for the business people. So we want to know how our product is reaching to the community, especially when we are doing any research, ocean related research, or any new projects. So the researcher is curious, the organization is curious to know how people are agreeing. So liking gives us that particular information, whether the people is agreeing to what we are saying. And retweeting is something which is not only agreeing, but the post is repeated and what we have said, and promote the content. So it's very important for organizations or products or business to understand likes and retweets analysis. So the first one here, I'm import matplotlib. Matplotlib is used to visualize the data. So in Python, when we want to do visual analysis, we use matplotlib. Okay, I've imported this and I'm using this as PLT instead of writing this whole name. So I am trying to create a time likes variable where I'm storing all the data where likes values and the date. So if I click on this, I can see it. So I'm giving the color as R here, which is red, and I'm giving the size of the figure as 16 width and 8 height. So it says busy. So whenever we do visual analysis, it says some time. So you can see this beautiful graph here. So 2020, 21, 23. So they are not tweeting regularly. If if we take the happening accounts, we can see February 2023, January 2023, December 2022, every week data. But here we got almost from 2019 to 2020, because we can see that this account is not very active. They don't post tweets regularly. So these are some hikes. So they have got some 18 likes here, they got 13 likes here, they got 11 likes here, and this is the 18 likes, the highest. So you can see the likes here. So this particular time they got many likes, so something might be happening at this time. People are interested whatever they have posted or tweeted at this particular time. So we also see the retweets graph now. So we have seen that one particular retweet, the maximum retweet was around 10,054. So yeah, so we have one tweet which has been reposted and retweeted more than 10,000. So that's the tweet here. So all the other tweets, so, here there were like few tweets and there were not many retweets here. So we can also compare retweets and tweets together in one particular graph. So we have included the likes code here graph, and again we have included the retweet code here in a single notebook cell here. So this is called layered time series. So we can get both the graphs in a single. So as this has 10,000 and this has like, less than 50. So you can't see red a lot, but whenever you have accounts where it has most likes and retweets, you can see fluctuations in red and blue very clearly. So this is the comparison of likes and retweets analytics. So we have seen extracting tweets from a particular account or particular organization. Now we will see how can we extract based on a particular keyword. So if I want to know what people are talking about climate change, what are the people, what topics are running around the climate change word. So I can use this particular code here. So tweets equal to API. So I'm asking API to search for a keyword. So search for tweets, which has this particular keyword. Q is nothing but keyword here. So search tweets, which has this word climate change. I'm extracting 2000 count. My count is 2000 here. I'm not printing it because I have already shown how the unstructured tweet looks like. So I'm just putting everything in tweets here. So again, same as previously, I'm just putting everything in database here. I've just created text is nothing but our tweet, created it is the date, ID, user ID, created it, source, favorite count, retweet count. So these are the things I've extracted. I'm putting this in a CSV file. I have downloaded it into a CSV file, which will save in my account. So these are the data. So these are the tweets which include a climate change word in it. Okay, so these are the likes, retweets, sources, data, user ID, you have everything. Okay. So we have seen the scraping part now. So we have scraped the data from accounts. We have scraped the data using the keywords, and we did some analysis using likes and retweets. So we have finished the scraping part. So I just wanted to know if you have any questions until scraping parts. So this is how we scrape the data from Twitter using your @ and hashtags. Now let's move to the second objectives, implementing natural language processing. So before starting this, I just wanted to know if you have any questions regarding to scraping Twitter data. All right, so if we have no questions, we'll just move on. So at this point, so somebody asked question that if they don't have, if you're unable to scrape data from Twitter, you can start analyzing from this particular point. I'm using the file which I've already stored in my system. We have extracted and stored in the system here. So I'm using from here. So if you don't get access, or if your API keys freeze, you can start doing analysis from this point using a stored file or your CSV file. Take a CSV file which has tweets and you can start analyzing from this point. Okay, what is natural language processing? Natural language processing uses artificial intelligence to provide an ability to computers to understand the text and speech, same as we do, as humans do. Some of the popular applications are smart assistants, the Siri in the mobile phones and Alexa. So these are understand what we are trying to say as human and give us response in a efficient way. So these all uses natural language processing. Spelling check, Grammarly kind of applications. So they try to understand what we are writing in it is, what is our intention, and provide us proper assistance based on that. So these are the popular applications. So here we are using text mining, which is an application of one of the application of natural language processing, because why we are using text mining is that we have seen the text in unstructured format, especially people online post with emojis, with spelling mistakes, with shortcuts. So there we find a lot of different kinds of data, different formats of data on social media. But social media data is very important for organizations, for researchers to understand human perspective and behaviors towards a particular problem or concern. It is also important in the healthcare domain to understand to understand public perceptions and psychological profiling as well. In perspective of the business and management, it is important to market their product. It's important for them to promote their content, and it's important for them to understand how people are reacting to the new versions of the new products. So it's very important. So that is the reason text mining is very important for social media analysis. So today we are learning text mining techniques using only the tweets particular column. So text mining provides us a meaningful patterns and insights from this unstructured data. So I am taking this particular climate change tweet CSV file and putting it into a data. So always remember, this is very important. So whenever you want to extract the file or extract a file and put it into data frame, you have to make sure that your file is in comma delimited CSV file. So generally, sometimes the files will be comma separated file. So you can check that before you are using and extracting here in the Python environment. So you definitely get an error. If you get an error, just go and see the format in how it has been saved by clicking on Save As. You can see several options. So you can select comma delimited CSV option, which is UTF-8 code encoding. So I've run this, so I didn't get any error. So yeah, it should be fine. So this is my file, which has tweets, created it, ID, and these all details. So I'm just concerned about tweets at this point because I'm doing text mining. I want to get some insights from this particular tweets here. So I click, I use only the first column. I am asking data to get only the first column information into tweet. So I will click on this. So I'm just using only first column here, which has like 100 rows. Okay, so I got the data now. My data is ready. My data has only text in it. So I want to implement some text mining techniques into it. The first technique I want to implement is data cleaning. As we said that it has a lot of unnecessary data. You can see at the rate TC, TPC, ORG. We have like shortcuts, DP. We don't understand this. We have like emojis, everything. So what we will do for data cleaning, first we will convert everything into a lowercase. So this is, we call it as normalization. We have to normalize the text. We have to make it into a similar format. Okay, so tweet lowercase is the new column. I'm adding it to the tweet where I am converting these tweets into lowercase. Okay, if I click on this, you will understand what I'm talking about. So this is our tweets. So what I have done, I have created a tweet lowercase column, and I am converting these tweets to all lowercases here. So you can see here, Bill was capital here, Bill was small, so you can DP was capital, DP. So I've converted everything into lowercase first. So the next step I do in data cleaning is that I will remove unnecessary things. So generally people put a lot of symbols in it, a lot of emojis in it, a lot of numbers in it. So I just want to remove all the numbers. So what am I doing? So I will take this particular, this is our fresh column, right? So this particular tweet lowercase column. So what I'm writing I've written a regular expression here. So this regular expression says that if my word, this particular, so if my word starts with an alphabet and ends with a number, or if my word has a number, D is nothing but number, or if any word starts with number and ends with an alphabet, or if any word has like gaps or symbols in it, if any word has like RT, which is like retweet here, just remove it and just create an empty space there. So that's what I have written. If I click on this, you will understand what I'm saying. So you can see we have like symbols, as we have told that we have symbols. So there is no symbol here. There is like your double quotes. There are no double quotes here. So there was here, this one, there is no here. So there was comma here. So you can see that there are no symbols in it. There are no numbers in it. So we have eliminated all the unnecessary symbols and unnecessary numbers from the text in the second step. So the third step is that remove stop words. So what are stop words? So we have stop words in every language. So we have stop words in English as well. So stop words are something which doesn't give meaning for us. It is very important when you speak, but whenever you want to analyze, whenever you want to get insights, these words are not required. So you can see these are the stop words, which has NLTK. NLTK is a library which we use for NLP, implement NLP techniques. So NLTK has this kind of created a corpus which has these stop words, so that our should, these kind of words doesn't give any insights when in a business perspective, but this is very important when we are speaking, but it's not important for doing analysis. So these are the words in English. So there are also words in other language. I can try in French. So these are some stop words in French. See, so these are some stop words in French. So every language has stop words, and NLTK has that corpus for every language. Okay, so if you think that you want to add few more words which doesn't give sense to your project, so you can extend your stop list. So I have created a list here. So IAMP get admitted. So I've written few words here, so that I want to show you how can we extend stop words. So people will get confused, how can they extend. So I just wanted to provide you the code here and show you how we can do that. So for English corpus, I'm increasing my corpus by adding a list of other words. If you have a lot of lists, 100 words, you can create a list like this and you can extend into that. So I've extended my stop words. So now I can see my stop words. See here. So these were the default stop words created by NLTK corpus, but I have added few more to this. So this is how you can add if you want to eliminate this kind of words from your tweets. Okay, so this is how you extend your corpus. So now in the next step, I want to remove the stop words. We have turned into lowercase. Next, we have removed the symbols. The third step is to remove stop words from our tweets. So you get this orange, this pink color is like some warning, but it's okay. You get warnings. So, okay, I didn't display it here. So this is the clean data. Okay, so you don't have stop words here. So two, there is no two here. There is a lot of, there is no lot is there, sorry. A of is not here. Of the is not there here. You can see to is not there here, out is not there. So those are the common words, are prepositions, those kind of words are not in the clean text here. So I just wanted to talk about this lambda. So I have used lambda here. So lambda in Python is helpful to combine multiple functions together. So I have written two functions here. To combine two functions, lambda can be used. So what I have written here, I am asking the tweet to split word by word. And if the word does not have, the stop words is the list where we have these words. So the item is not in stop word, we are asking it to put it into clean data. If the item is present in the stop words, we don't put it in this particular data frame. So this word is the lowercase one. This word is the removal of all the symbols and numbers. This word is the elimination of stop words. Okay, so we have cleaned the data now. So we have some, can get some insights from this particular data. So the next step is that we do tokenization. Tokenization is nothing but dividing the token into single words. We have a sentence, we just want to see it in a words. Okay, so what do? We just write this code, we apply word tokenization. So NLTK already have an inbuilt tokenization. I'm just importing that here and I'm applying it as word tokenize here. So the sentence is now tokenized. So we have like kids cost lot. We have converted all the sentence into a single words here as tokens. So based on the tokenization, so we will see how each word has been displayed, how many words have been displayed and repeated. So this particular code has a function called process text, where I have using the tokenized words and giving its frequency. So how many times each word has been repeated. So the most common word repeated in this tweet was climate change, which is obvious because we have taken climate change related tweets, and there was a Chang, Chen, Churchill, private, preaching, industrial pollution. So these were the frequency of each words. We have taken only 100 tweets, so we don't get much insights. But if you take 10,000 tweets, you will get great insights. We can get the trend on what people are talking about. Whenever people are tweeting about climate change, what is the main concern, what is the main topic they are talking about. So those kind of insights we get from frequency analysis. So if we want to visualize this in a word cloud, so we have a word cloud. I have imported word cloud here, and I'm using matplot to display the word cloud. I will use the word cloud to show the frequency of these words more clearly. The word cloud will take some time because we have a lot of text, because there are 100 tweets, and 100 tweets have several words in it. So it will have a lot of words to analyze. So word cloud would take a couple of minutes. So I have written here word cloud code. So background color, I have given white. You can change the colors. I have given width and height of the size of the word cloud graph. And the size here, the figure size I've given here, you can see the code here. We have using tokens. We are separating the words into tokens. It's taking some time.
While this is taking time, we're going to back up for just one sec. And this is kind of something, there's a great question here that's talking about stop words. When you remove some stop words, you're at risk of changing the sentiment. So words like not, don't, things like that. And I think some of the work that you did on COVID is a good example, because I tested positive to my COVID test. Sentiment analysis would say and assume that that's a good thing, when actually it's not. It's crappy because I tested positive. So do you have any context you want to share on that?
So stop words doesn't have the word not. Not will definitely give some sense. If you see the default stop word list, it just have what, why, they, but you can see this. Maybe if you think that above, below, this kind of words will give more sense to you, you don't use stop words. If you want more specifics, you just want to include everything and see, you don't use stop words. Where you don't remove stop words, you can include it. As we can extend the stop words, we can also remove list of items from the stop words as well.
And that makes sense. Like I see the word aren't. So it could be talking about somebody's participation, and it could be they aren't going, but maybe that then changes the sentence.
Yes,
so
yes.
A good point. You want to scrub that list.
You can remove that, or you should. I mean, we can always, it's in our hand. If you don't want to use that step, you don't want to use it. So you can just skip that step and you can do it. If you think that stop word doesn't give much sense to your project, or stop word will, affect your analysis, you can wait. It still says busy. I don't know. It's taking much time. Let's wait. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Any other question?
Not right now.
I'll just interrupt and run it once again. So we'll wait for it. So before, in the meanwhile, do you want me to discuss about the potential applications for the hackathon? Jen, there are like 2 lines. I just wanted to do 2 visualizations. This word cloud will give you the list of words. I can show you that. It will take some time, but we'll wait for it. And I want to show how we can display the top 10. First, I can show this one and we can
Absolutely. And I think one other thing, so there was a question talking about coding skills. So I think there's a couple of pieces here. Some of the stuff that we do, it doesn't mean you have to have really strong coding skills. One of the things we'd love to see is just people who are trying this. So as we mentioned, this notebook will be shared. But then the other thing is when we do challenges, our goal is to get you to play with data, regardless of whatever your background is. So some of the examples are like exploring sentiment and exploring bullying, doing some kind of work. And as an example, in some of our other Ocean of Data challenges, we've had students who are architecture students who designed a new ferry terminal in the Bedford Ferry. We had an engineering student who designs the power required for recharging electric ferries. We had another student who were in business and math, I think, and did analysis on the emissions reduction and the traffic reduction on highways by having another ferry in our harbor. So some of the skills that you bring forward, it's all about you actually looking at data you might normally never have looked at and trying to help solve a problem. So have a look at the link that I did share in the Q&A for the event, and we'll kick it off Monday and you'll learn more. But sorry, back over to you.
Yeah. So these are the top 10 keywords we can see here. So based on this frequency here, I just wanted to display top 10 keywords here, what have been used when people talked about climate change. The climate change tweets have, these are the top 10 keywords: the climate change, Chang, Churchill, private, preaching, industrial, pollution, story, weather. So these were the words discussed around the climate change topic. So if you want to get more, you want to top 50, you can just give here 50 or 100, or if you want only top 5, you can give number here in the most. Is the frequency most common is the function which we use for frequency distribution. So we are still waiting for this word cloud. So in the meanwhile, we will see the topics. What are the potential applications and ideas we can do for the hackathon? So as Jen said, that you don't need to have a great computer science background for doing this. I've seen people do a lot of great things than computer science students. So it's about your creativity and your idea and your goal for the project. So you can do sentiment analysis. So sentiment analysis is the great application for by using social media data, because we get to understand public perspectives and attitudes and reactions and concerns on a specific topic. For example, we want to know how people talk about plastic pollution, marine conservation. So these are the several topics which are, popular and talked about on social media a lot. So you can understand public perspective and reactions on that. And we can do topic analysis. Topic analysis is nothing but classifying the topics and subtopics that were discussed on a particular problem. So if we are talking about plastic pollutions, what are the topics people talk about, plastic pollution? If we are talking about climate change, so what are the topics and subtopics? So we can get those topics and we have to derive them. So you need to do some analysis, because I'm here to show you how you can scrape data and do some basic analysis. So you can play around it and do some further analysis. Okay, the trends. So trends is nothing but the most trending conversations. What are the trending research happening around particular problem, how it has been changing over time. So you can show some trends. Spatiotemporal analysis. So I've shown you the data that we also have location. You also have geolocation and location. So you can compare the kind of tweets people tweet in different countries. So you can do some temporal analysis based on the location field in the tweets you get. So network analysis. So people keep on, posting and retweeting the data, mention each other account names. So there is always a link between tweets. We have like hashtags in the tweets. So we can draw a network around it. So if you want to see the network of a particular organization, or if you want to reveal the network and create some patterns, you can do that with network analysis. Content analysis. So organizations and they have a lot of content in it. So you can analyze that content and show some highlights and insights from the content. Competitive analysis, this is for generally for the business, but I have provided it here because there are a lot of research projects going on around oceans. So you can see what are the latest research projects happening. So, you can identify those top research and, which gets more retweets, likes, for how people think about it. So I just wanted to specify that you can identify those research project companies in the field and how it has been changed over time. So demographic analysis, you get a lot of details for each tweet. So you have age, you have gender, you have everything. So you want to play around it, you can play it. And you also have images. So we have images. So there is a link provided for every tweet for images as well. So if you want to analyze images and if you want to talk about images, and you're also welcome to image analysis as well. So if you have any questions regarding NLP at any time, you can always reach out to me. This is my contact details and my email ID. This word cloud is still taking time. It still shows here busy. I don't know why.
I think one of the things that's really interesting, if you scroll back down to the potential ideas, I think this is really good because there's a lot of people on this webinar and others who will watch it later who are working in technology and data and might be looking for business applications in their future career. And I think this highlighted list right here is an example of when someone asks the question, you need to ask 5 more questions to know what their question is. So if somebody were to say, how are sales doing in our store? And so the question would be, how is sales today compared to week over week, compared to year over year, by product, by location, by province, by region, by category? And it's the same kind of thing when you list all those ideas. If someone were to say, let's go look at some text and analyze it, there's so many things that you can do. And the sentiment analysis to breaking things down by region are fantastic. And here's an example. So there's a question about someone who has less coding experience, but more design. The word cloud is a great example of some kind of output where there might be ways that you can do some derivative of a text analysis that isn't necessarily you writing code, but maybe you can create some kind of visualization that's really aesthetically pleasing and informative.
So you have a lot of tools, free tools available, data visualizations tools, where you can just take the Excel sheet and provide some visualization. So it's important to have an interesting question and a great story around it. These analyses, no, you don't need to write a code. You have a lot of automated tools, and you also have ready-made code for every problem and every data mining and NLP solution. You can use this code. The only thing is that you have to provide the reference from where you're using it, but you have everything online, so you can play around the data. Twitter data. So this is the word cloud I wanted to show you. So the climate change has highest frequency. That's why the size and the bold, it's in bold. So based on the frequency, the words has been displayed. So you can imagine why it has taken a lot of time, because it has a lot of words, right? So to analyze those words, to analyze the size, it definitely takes some time, but not the time it has taken now, but it will take generally 1 minute of time to generate the word cloud. So the climate change was most spoken word. You can see the industrial. So people talked about industrial pollution. People talked about weather. You're preaching climate. You have like global warming here. So you can say the community here, and there is like policies here. So people talked about these things. People talked about Ukraine. There are a lot of other things people talked about. So you can see that if you look at this particular word cloud, you can see what people are talking about on climate change. So word cloud is very important, and it gives a lot of meaning to our analysis. So that's about today's workshop. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'll stop it here. Yeah, thanks for your patience. Thanks for listening to me.
That was fantastic. Thanks. And I think, we answered a lot of questions as we went. There was one question in there that talked about being part of a newsletter and finding about other training. I just shared in in the chat there on the Deep Sense website, there's a tab for students. And if you scroll down, there's training. And in that training tab, we've already created a bunch of notebooks like this. And so there's a computer vision one, there's a regression problem that's identified as well, which is around time series. There's a bunch of others. The notebooks exist and the data is already there. So it's the same kind of concept of what was just presented today, where you can go and learn from somebody else's build. So those are some of the things that you can always look to try to do and try to build out your skills. We ask that if you're a student, you don't go and try to hand those in as your own work, because you're going to get caught. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. There's a question around copying of the recording. Yes, it will be posted on our YouTube, as well as you'll get access to the notebook and then some of the data we referenced. And please do sign up for our Ocean of Data Challenge that kicks off on Monday night, which I think is the 13th of February in 2023. So thank you so much, Pallavi, for joining us for this. It was great to see you, and for everyone else who joined and is going to listen later on online, thanks for attending our Deep Sense Discovery sessions. We have lots online, so be sure to go back. You can learn about other topics, including computer vision, trying to select the best machine learning solution for the problem you have, the data set you have, and the size. And yeah, there's some other questions that I think will be answered later on during our kickoff for our Discovery Challenge. So thanks everyone for joining us today, and have a lovely day.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Jen.